At the heart of the Nairobi National Park sits Impala Viewpoint, the day's event stage. The view as scenic as the very species it seeks to save. In the true African spirit, like the Masai Mara giraffe, dancers entertained guests. However, the mood changed from celebratory to thoughtful once the Chief Guest Cabinet Secretary Tourism Najib Balala took the stage. His remarks were based on the dwindling number of the Kenyan wildlife in general, challenging the stakeholders to do more.
We only heard in the media that giraffe numbers are going down, but also we know other numbers are going down. Lions numbers are going down. Antelopes are going down. The playing games numbers are going down. We don't see the gazelles anymore as many as we used to see those days. So all the playing games are going down. Yes, we focused on the rhinos and the elephants, but because their numbers were going down in the higher rate, and then it's a criminal network that is destroying our heritage. So that focus, I think we need to do the same to other species because we have an obligation. And I want to thank Chairman Waithaka here. When these things happened wrong, where were we? If we are the ones mandated to manage this heritage by law and by passion and by responsibility, mandate, when these numbers are going down, where were we? When we are given figures here in this action plan, the numbers have dropped from 80,000 in 1970 to 45,000 to now we have 28,000. Where were we? And all of us in KWS here, we are being paid to be alert. When things go wrong, what do we do to action it and repair what has gone wrong?
The plummeting giraffe numbers are as a result of a myriad of challenges that giraffes face. According to Philip Murungi, President, African Wildlife Foundation, the key challenge is poaching.
This iconic species is in danger due to many factors which have been mentioned already: habitat fragmentation, poaching, disease, and the negative impacts of climate change. I would like to particularly highlight the danger that is posed by bushmeat. Recently, in a very pilot study, African Wildlife Foundation with Kenya Wildlife Service bought meat off butcheries. And we sampled these through the DNA lab, and your guess is as good as mine. Yes, giraffes are being eaten as part of the meat you buy off butcheries. So we really have to look at this in a more comprehensive manner, adding new threats such as consumption of bushmeat in our butcheries.
To mitigate these challenges, Lucy Waruinge, Chairperson Conservation Alliance of Kenya, said giraffe habitat and species recovery will be addressed.
One is that the national strategy recognizes habitat loss as a critical component in addressing conservation in Kenya. And yet one of the threats for giraffes is habitat loss. When there isn't enough space for the giraffes, then we end up losing numbers, not because they are a threat directly to people, but because their habitat continues to decline as land use converts. A second goal in the National Wildlife Strategy is species recovery. And in there, indeed, we envisage that this country would have strategies for recovering species that are in decline. So we applaud this effort in already contributing to Kenya's National Wildlife Strategy.
She further went on to call for joint conservancy efforts through adequate research and community engagement.
We would like to emphasize the role of research and sharing of information as a critical component in enabling us to succeed in implementing this strategy. The baseline work done on the giraffe populations in 2010 and continuing has enabled us to have a better understanding of our 3 giraffe subspecies. But there is more research work that needs to be done. And as the Conservation Alliance of Kenya, a lot of our groups are involved in research work and would like to see more effort in looking at individual habitats, individual species populations, to understand what are the pressures and what are the trends. Because indeed, in some areas, giraffe populations are increasing. The second area we'd want to look into is engaging of communities who really have created the space for wildlife, which is been noted as shrinking because we need extra effort at county level. The Corridors report that was launched, I believe, mid last year, highlighted the need for expanding space and connectivity. If that report can be implemented, we would also see great progress in the moving forward of increasing and recovering our giraffe population.
The same sentiments were echoed by Charles Musyoki, Acting Director General, Kenya Wildlife Society, who went further to state that good leadership in giraffe conservation will go a long way in actualizing the strategy.
We have 9 subspecies of giraffes in Africa, and it's only fitting that Kenya becomes a leader in developing this action plan that is going to be launched today, because Kenya is actually the epicenter for giraffe diversity and speciation. We have 3 subspecies of giraffes. No other country has 3 subspecies. Other countries have either 1 or 2 subspecies. And therefore, Kenya is basically providing the right kind of leadership to Africa insofar as giraffe conservation is concerned.
For the country to continue enjoying its place as a tourist destination of choice the world over, the very tourist attractions must be protected.
A copy of the book.
With the launch of the National Recovery Plan for Giraffes in Kenya, we can only hope that this is the first of many initiatives to follow towards this end.
And joining us in this occasion.